Arabia on us.
Dollars to just...
So you just jumped up the IPO of the CONVO catch, and now it just went back down.
I just want to point out, though, that the majority of people, when they saw this, and the mainstream media, of course, was blaming Iran, including our president, Donald J. Trump. And
that was number 3.
That's well, okay. Yeah. So that's the most obvious thing that it's not, because we've been trying to blame Iran so we can go to war with Iran for a while now. If you recall.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's also something going on when our president fired John Bolton. That was a really, really knife in the back, we thought, or in the side, or just a hitting at the kneecaps of the deep state that wanted a war with Iran. Bolton has been writing op-eds for years and been talking about going to war with Iran. Iran, they're evil, fighting this war, this Israeli war that, once again. So immediately, Pompeo, they said Iran right off the bat. So it was kind of weird to see that, because we thought the transgressions, when it would happen with Bolton getting fired, I see this as the last chance as the deep state trying to make a move, desperate to get us into a war with Iran, because a lot of people want war with Iran. Fair.
Right. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you there. But what other evidence would you say it wasn't these?
Well, here's the thing. There's always been this talk about the Houthi rebels. The Houthi rebels are getting supplied weaponry by Iran, but there's been a lot of talks against that. One of the reasons it is because there's a big blockade. It's going to be very hard to get weaponry in there. And the Houthi government in Iran has never been aligned. Now, lately, they've been aligned more politically. I think Iran has been standing up, whatnot. But this, to me, seems like a Gulf of Tonkin kind of incident, where it's something that can be done to itself, so then we can point the fingers at Iran and possibly go to war with Iran. But once again, if you look back, and Trump said this, and we're going to dive into this a little bit later too. We're going to talk about Tulsi's reaction, because she's the only one who really caught this. It said Saudi Arabia's oil supply was attacked. This is Donald J. Trump, by the way. There is reason to believe we know who the culprit is, and we are locked and loaded depending on verification. But we are waiting to hear from the kingdom as to who they believe caused this attack and under what terms will we proceed. Now, he wasn't alone. Of course, all the neocons jumped on with him. Leader McConnell was out there. Iran's brazen attack, once again, just like the oil tanker, fam. They get no proof.
And they're just accusing Iran.
And they're pressing the buttons. But here's the important thing to remember, fam. And I'm going to talk about this really quick. We know from WikiLeaks, okay, that the Houthi rebels don't get their weaponry, if they get any, from Iran. They get their weaponry. We're going to put this up here. It's an anti-war blog. It says WikiLeaks cable from 2009 about the Houthis in Iran. And it says simply that they get all their weaponry from the black market. 75% of it is coming from the Houthi and the black market within Saudi Arabia and whatnot. So they don't get any weaponry from Iran. And more or less, another thing to think about is that, and you can see this. This is by, I'm going to go down real quick. Alabama Moon. Can we get that one up? This is a very interesting one. This is dated August 17, 2019 right here. And it says, and I got this from American Vagabond. American Vagabond is so awesome. He's one of my favorite shows. If you ain't subscribed, go over there and subscribe. And he talks about a long-range missile attack on a Saudi oil field ends the war in Yemen. And it appears, and they had it right here. This is a picture of their drones, and they've created these type of drones, fam, that aren't used with satellites, that they can get longitude and latitude in there. And even though there's a lot of people who want war with Iran, Saudi Arabia is very, very vulnerable. It's all sand dunes. It's not mountains. So you can take a drone. And this shows on August 17th, the Houthis hit an oil refinery, but it wasn't really widely reported in the mainstream media. And they said, plain and simple, if you don't withdraw your attacks, if you don't stop your transgressions, we're going to continue to bomb you. And more will come. They didn't stop. We talked about how many buses got blown up. 3 or 4 buses got blown off. The mainstream media only reported one. They didn't report the other 2. I mean, you talk about women and children. So the Houthis kept up their attacks. And then this time, they sent their drones deep into the heart of Saudi Arabia. And in 2002, there was this war. I showed you yesterday, guys. You saw it. There was this war drill. And it was called the Millennium Challenge of 2002. And the deep state and the neocons were trying to show the Americans that a war with Iran is very winnable.
Mm-hmm.
So they had one of their generals, and they spent millions of dollars, $215 million, I believe, on these drills. They had one of the American generals take the lead of the Iranian army.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way Iran is geographically located, the country's mostly mountain. So an air attack is tough. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to get them. They're going to be able to go inside, hide in these mountains. It's just like Afghanistan. We haven't been able to get rid of the Taliban in 20 years. Iran is just as hard, if not harder. If you also employ the tactics they will use in the Gulf. A friend of mine called me. He said, can you imagine going into a room one way, and there's only one door out, or the door to get back out, and there's a bunch of flies and bees all over the place. And you got to either go into the Strait of Hormuz, or you got to sit there and try to fight what's around you. And this general used these tactics of taking these speedboats, of when they had, all these ships in the Gulf, and suicide missions right into them. And they sunk aircraft carriers, and they almost eliminated the Navy that was in that range because they can use those tactics. The way Iran is geographically located, on land and in sea, a war with them would be 10 times more deadlier than it would be with Iraq. It's just awful. However, despite this report of, the Millennial Challenge, despite of experts saying that we need to stay out of there are still some people, fam, and I'll end right here and hand it over to you. They want war with Iran, and even though we got rid of Bolton, the coast is not clear.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% believe you, because I've been looking at these myself, and it just basically looks like another typical U.S. attempt to engage in war with Iran. And that's the thing, like, we don't really know what he means by locked and loaded when he says that, but I mean, we can infer that it means like we're ready to go to war with Iran, because the thing is, we always frame it like this is dangerous, that we need to do this because they can attack us, they're attacking our democracy, that we're in danger, that they're attacking the poor Saudis. Can we stop idolizing the Saudi Arabians or completely clearing them of everything that they've done?
Yeah.
They've committed so many atrocities to the people in Yemen. We are still fighting for us to not continue supplying weapons to them. But of course, Donald Trump, as Tulsi puts it right here, is Saudi Arabia's biatch. So let's look at Tulsi. She had a video and she had a tweet. So she said, "Real Donald Trump. Trump awaits instructions from his Saudi masters. Having our country act as Saudi Arabia's bitch is not America first." And she's directly responding to him right here. Do we have the video, Johnny? Yeah, let's just quickly play the video.
It's an awesome video, by the way.
Yes,
right
absolutely.
Yesterday, President Trump offered to place our military, my brothers and sisters in uniform, under the command of Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the dictator of the Islamist Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Trump said we are locked and loaded, but are waiting to hear from the kingdom as to who they believe was the cause of this attack and under what terms we would proceed. Now, Mr. President, as you know, I have never engaged in hateful rhetoric against you or your family, and I never will. But you're offering our military assets.
Yeah.
Is that it?
The kingdom,
Yeah,
hateful
it was a
rhetoric.
short one.
But
No?
you're offering our military assets to the dictator of Saudi Arabia to use as he sees fit is a betrayal of my brothers and sisters in uniform who are ready to give our lives for our country, not for the Islamist dictator of Saudi Arabia. And for you to think that you can pimp out our proud servicemen and women to the Prince of Saudi Arabia is disgraceful. And it once again shows that you are unfit to serve as our commander-in-chief. As a member of Congress and as a soldier, I and all of my brothers and sisters in uniform have taken an oath to protect and defend the American people and the Constitution of the United States of America. There is nothing in our Constitution that gives you the power to go to war without the express consent of Congress. What to speak of giving you the power to offer our military to a foreign power like the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to use as they wish. President Trump, your words and actions are a betrayal of my brothers and sisters in uniform, the American people, and our Constitution. My fellow service members and I, we are not your prostitutes. You are not our pimp.
Wow. Them fighting words. So a lot of people, who don't like Tulsi have been equating her with the right, have been saying, she's pro-war, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, she's not. She doesn't stand with Donald Trump at all in any way, shape, or form, because Donald Trump stands still in one way or another for the war machine. Even though he's gotten rid of Bolton, he shouldn't have hired him in the first place. Even though he campaigned as an anti-interventionist, he's been anything but that. So the reality is that Tulsi is going to speak out against that. And it's very important here for what she's saying, because if you're going to talk about putting America first, let's switch the idea that putting America first is engaging in war. Let's protect our veterans. I mean, that is the whole idea of putting America first. And this is where her words as a veteran, as someone that's been involved in Congress too, she can literally make that bridge here that other people cannot. And she's the only one that I've seen out of the presidential candidates speaking out very specifically against what Donald Trump is doing.
I mean, she does separate the yin from the yang. It's a shame that most of our Democrats on that stage now that are running for president are all lock, stop, and step and barrel with the neocons, except for Bernie, of course. And once again, he can even do a better job when it comes to these things. But, by far, he was the best one on that stage the other day. But we really have to talk about where the roots of this come, because even though we're saying that Donald Trump, stop being Saudi Arabia's bitch. The United States was Saudi Arabia's bitch a long time before that. You know what I'm saying? Now you see a lot of people from the Obama administration talking about, Saudi Arabia is not our ally. Really? Then why did Obama go over there and hang out with them? Give them money. Give them weaponry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was always about the petrodollar, and when something like this happened, they're going to try to draw us in to do their bidding, to be their bitch, because we have rewarded them so much with oil, by getting oil specifically from them. They were our bitch, but we wanted to bleed out Venezuela, so they lowered their price, and it's always about the petrodollar. And even Non de Plomb Beneme says, could be a USA job. We are now exporting oil and making money since the bombing occurred. They need to show us something. So, I mean, he even talks about it. This could be an inside job. It could be an inside job from Iran, from the Saudis trying to get us into war with Iran. It could be whatever, or it could be the Houthi rebels just saying, don't mess with us anymore. You better pull back, get out of here, and then let us do business.
We're never going to go to war to protect people, because that's why we haven't gone to war to protect Yemen against the Saudis. But we will go to war for the Saudis because of the oil and the money that we have to protect them from people these people may or may not be defending themselves from the way they're being treated. And it goes for the same with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. If we really cared about protecting people, we would have protected the Palestinians a long time ago instead of supplying Israel with weapons to continue doing what they do.
Yeah. And, it's the thing about that, too, as well, is that the fact that the Israeli government is, well, not so much the government, but the AIPAC lobbyists has just got our freaking Congress bought hand and fist.
Oh, yeah.
It's just disgusting. There are some people, we're going to get back to this real quick, but there are some people on the Facebook fam. We don't forget them. Our fam over there, Steve Wilbrand. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Steve.
Jill Carr, Matthew Savella, Jose Gloria joined.
What's up, Jose?
Eli, James Brennis, my boy, Allison Irvin in the house. That is over there, and over across on the MCSC network.
MCSC.
What's up, Sean Patrick? Charles Skurick, Anthony Valentine, Brent McKinney, Skull Death 23, 100% per ditto, just 100 per ditto, and the Blues Man is hanging out. Fam, what else you got?
Okay, so the fix is in, you guys.
It's in.
The fix is in.
It's in.
I'm going to keep saying that because the fix is in. And it's not a conspiracy, because this is the first thing they do. They try to say that this is a conspiracy, or they try to gaslight you and tell you to shut up because this is divisive. Well, I'm not going to shut up because this is what people have to know. So first of all, let me talk about Elizabeth Warren's rally. Elizabeth Warren had a rally yesterday where it was in Washington Square Park. And if you've ever been to New York, Washington Square Park is one of the most trafficked areas. You have to cross there, and it's a place of gathering in general. She reportedly had about 20,000 people in attendance. All of Twitter. Oh. I'm sorry, you okay? Sorry. I know something's going around.
It's a case of bullshit.
I know. She reportedly had that many people in attendance, and to be fair, like there are, this is a picture of right here where you can see her, her rally, so to speak. And the whole of Twitter and all of the media are reporting 20,000 people in attendance. Elizabeth Warren is leading in the polls. Elizabeth Warren's rise. Elizabeth Warren has been endorsed by the Working Families Party. All of these things combined, they are not a coincidence that this is happening right now. I mean, this is just as orchestrated as it comes. So let's look at the actual reports from people that were there that suggested this actually wasn't accurate and that they were overcounting the numbers. So this is an article from, I believe, the Huffington Post. It says, Warren's show of force Monday evening was seemingly aimed at showcasing her strength to progressive bastions that were once Sanders' exclusive stomping grounds. The Vermont senator drew massive crowds to a rally in the same park in April 2016, claiming about 27,000 people attended, but those claims were valid. Warren's campaign said more than 20,000 people attended the rally, making it her largest to date. A spokesperson for the City Department of Parks and Recreation told Huffington Post that officials believe that the park's capacity is 10,000 and that Warren's event had a permit for 8 to 10,000 people. The city said it could not corroborate Warren's crowd estimate. So because the crowd estimate that we were seeing didn't come from any Parks and Rec person, it came directly from Warren's campaign. Yeah. So there's strike one. Strike two.
Again. Sorry, my bad.
This is from where was this from? I thought I cited it. I think I linked it. But I'll let you guys know at the bottom. So this is Washington Square Park. Oh, this is Vox. So Washington Square Park is in the high traffic part of the city, meaning the rally crowd was a mix of Warren supporters, people trying to hang out in the park, and people trying to walk through it. Ben, a 24-year-old student at NYU, heard about the rally earlier in the month and had forgotten it was happening until he was on his way home after school. And then if we scroll down, it says, this is why he's voting for Elizabeth Warren. I have to read this because this is funny. Elizabeth Warren is a strong policy-minded candidate who not only had clearly thought about various policies in detail, but has come to what I think is a good position on most of them. I haven't specifically poured through her policy proposals because there are 100,000 of them. So I want to point out something here. People who support Bernie or support Tulsi are very aware of the policies that they push. They can name them. They can name them off like this. People who support Warren, and I've seen this on numerous videos. I have to admit, someone sent me a right-wing video with the girl going around and asking people like why they support Warren, and they can't name a single legislation as to why they want to support her. So want specifics. Like I don't care if you support Warren, just give me specifics as to why you're going to support them. Don't say there's too many to support, because if anyone has too many to support, that it's Bernie Sanders.
Well, that's the thing, fam. Why is it so? Why are we so like? The whole thing is that you if you support most of Elizabeth Warren's policies, then you support most of Bernie Sanders' policies. They're all his policies from years past. Right. Why all of a sudden does she get to co-opt it, and then you think that she's a better choice? I don't get it.
But and they can't even be specific about that either. So the other image I wanted to show is that Elizabeth Warren talks about corruption. She said corruption has put our planet at risk. Corruption has broken our economy, and corruption is breaking our democracy. I know what's broken. I've got a plan to fix it, and that's why I'm running for president of the United States. Here's the thing that I have with her statement. We can't fix it. It's broken. You can't fix it anymore. If you continue fixing it, you're going to continue patching up a leg that should be chopped off, but you're just going to continue like trying to fix it, and eventually you're going to kill the entire body because you're not really solving the core issue of the problem. You can't fix it.
So what do we do?
You need a whole new system. And the only person offering that, in comparison to Elizabeth Warren, is Bernie Sanders. I mean, he's literally running as a democratic socialist against this whole capitalist oligarchy. She wants to work within the system and the market. And bottom line, that's not going to work. Yeah. And it's not going to beat Donald Trump.
She's more of a capitalist than Bernie Sanders is. Bernie Sanders is more of a socialist than she is.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
She's a capitalist in her bones.
Well, her best plans are all socialist policies of sorts. And I'm saying wiping out student debt. that's a socialist mentality. Let's help out our citizens, our students. You know
But
what I'm
if
saying?
you're following a capitalist plan, how do you plan on implementing that?
Well, that's
I
the
don't
thing.
trust.
I don't trust her to implement it. And I've never trusted
exactly.
her. I've never trusted her from day one since she sat on the sidelines and let Bernie just go out there while Tulsi got up and walked away and gave up her power. Elizabeth Warren hid in the back till she can obtain more power, which she did.
And she
did it for
continues
power and strength. She
to
didn't
do
it-
that as well.
She didn't do the right thing when it counted. You know what I'm saying? And I don't trust her to do the right thing down the road. And she's so flip-floppy on everything. And also, just, guys, zero, terrible on foreign policy. I don't care about her answer on Afghanistan the other day. That was scripted. She said it too quick. Nice try, by the way. But please, she's just terrible on foreign policy. And I believe we do also have a video of a Warren supporter, Nico House, when we went to the California Democratic Convention. He did ask a Warren person, I've got a plan. So there is a little interesting interview over there if you want to go see it. She sounds like she was a Bernie Sanders supporter that just,
Oh
switched
yeah,
over.
on the
And
KDM.
how about her going around with Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
How can you not 86 or right? I'm like,
Well, no, because Hillary Clinton can get her the support she needs. So
she's the new Hillary Clinton. Let's be honest.
I want to mention another thing regarding her support. A woman said that, she likes Bernie, but he's not quite what she's looking for. I've always liked Bernie, but I think with Elizabeth, she's got real world experience in doing stuff. Also, quite frankly, these white guys have fucked up this country for so long. Okay, I mean, I get where you're coming from
I gotta go,
to
fam.
a degree.
I'm gonna screw it up
but
on this couch.
Listen,
So stupid.
what stuff? Like, be specific, okay? And again, with the identity politics, Bernie Sanders has actually done. There's an amendment. There's a list of amendments this man has passed. So
Yeah.
let's
Can I
be
say
real
something?
here.
I'm not voting for Bernie Sanders if it's him and Donald Trump because he's a white guy. You know what I'm saying? It's got nothing to do with my personal opinion why he's white. It's his policies.
Yeah.
His mindset, his character. I trust him on all those issues. And I've been very critical of Bernie when it comes to some of the foreign policy, even though he's been a lot better than most of those people out of all those people on that stage this last time, because Tulsi wasn't there. He was by far better in foreign policy. He needs to get better. But however, he's just got a long track record of being who he is, of fighting for the things he wants to. Medicare for all is not something new. You've heard Bernie Sanders for years. So I think we still have to start looking at people's policies, the content of their character, and if we can trust them or not. That's what we should be voting on people for.
Absolutely.
Is
that a new one?
That's a Nico Giovanna.
Hi, Nico Giovanna.
Giovanna Liviana. Y'all know there are super chats on your channel now. Giovanna, we know that, so why don't you go on over to the CONVO couch and give us a super chat over there. Click on that one over there real quick, and then click over there on your
wait,
page.
I just want to see if
Okay.
Okay, great. So the one more
Bobby Black.
I want a couple tweets in support of also what the other news outlets have reported. Bobby Black. It was a few thousand and most were already there since it's a crowded public place. It's like showing up in the middle of Times Square and then claiming everyone in a 5-block radius is there to see you and calling it a rally. Shows how desperate these people are. Banicula. This figure didn't come from NYPD or Fire Marshal. It's from Liz's campaign, misleading, but of course every outlet took it as gospel. So yes. So when Bernie Sanders had more people than that, the media didn't give it the attention. He had reportedly between 27,000 and 28,000 people. Here are the pictures of his rally where you can actually see what that would look like.
And it was cold.
Because look at that.
It was cold.
And look at this one. The last one right here really shows just how ridiculous that is. I mean, that is so many people. And yeah, so I just kind of wanted to show that. I also want to show
You got a tweet
about the process of the Working Families Party, fam, just to kind of, because you are aware of what happened there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, not completely. I haven't watched your video yet, but
okay.
But I woke up in the morning, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh no, Fiorella's gonna be pissed, and she's gonna do a show. And as soon as I walked out, I'm pissed, fam. I'm like, it's the working parties.
Well, okay. So I just
endorsements.
want to clarify to all of you here. There's a lot of people saying, why are you guys pissed? Didn't you realize that they've endorsed Cuomo, they've endorsed over AOC, they've endorsed over what's his name, over Suffer Trechout. I know they're corrupt. We've known. this, that they're corrupt. We've known for a while that they are parading as progressive and they're really not. That's not the point. The point is that they are saying that their process is democratic, and it's not. And anybody telling you that is lying to you or doesn't really know how the process went about. So I want to show this video of
the tweet.
Yeah, this is video of
Cuomo.
the national organizer for the Working Families Party, who was asked by Cuomo why you chose Elizabeth Warren over Bernie. It was about 25 seconds.
National Director for the Working Families Party joining me now. Pleasure to see you.
Pleasure, Chris. Thanks for having me.
So, why Warren and not Sanders?
So let me just first say that it's 2019 and we have two structural change, big, bold, progressive candidates that have built huge grassroots followings in the democratic process.
But you picked one. Why?
Right. And so our grassroots members and our volunteers and our state committee, we engaged in a very long process and we came out. And I'm so proud of the process and so proud that we chose Elizabeth Warren. And let me tell you why. So, I mean, if you look at her, you know, they joke about she has a plan for it, right? But if you look at it and you take a step back, so Green New Deal, so we could save the planet, a historically big picture housing policy, Medicare for all, to take the insurance companies between you and your doctor, right? So healthcare could be a right and not a commodity that's traded.
Bernie
right?
does the same things,
Right.
and he wrote the damn bill.
That's absolutely right, and we have so much respect for Bernie and his followers. And in 2016, we endorsed Bernie. In 2020, you have a field of dozens of candidates, and so we wanted to engage in a process that was deeply democratic, where we could decide early what to do, even as the field was still shaking out. The reason we did it is because that time is one resource that when you lose it, you never could recoup it.
Fine. So what was the difference between the two with so much sameness?
So what I could talk about positively is why we endorsed Warren. And again, like I have nothing but positive things to say about Bernie, his followers, and his movement. And I think it's a plus for working people, the people that we represent, that we have two candidates that are advancing this. And I think, you saw the debate stage where they flanked each other, right? And so we want to encourage that with fellow travelers who agree with the policy change in both camps, to flank these ideas and to organize. And we encourage other organizations.
I'm with you, but here's why I'm pushing.
Throw in. Please,
here's why I'm pushing.
Let's go.
Because
let's do it.
No, let's get after it. Here's why.
Yeah.
Because you could argue they're splitting the vote, okay? And I'm
Let's just
asking
stop
you
it right
why.
He can't really answer.
I wanted to see that. I wanted to see that now because I want to hear what this donkey has to say. Because let me tell you something. This whole thought process that Elizabeth Warren is progressive, you're forgetting about the progressive golden rule, was where do you get your money? Okay? And Fiorella has showed plenty of times on this show right here where Elizabeth Warren's money is coming from. And it is dirty. Is it not, fam?
It is dirty. And I've been called left QAnon by
QAnon left.
Emma for that. But the reality is he can't answer that because there's no answer. First of all, it wasn't a democratic process, number one. Number two, if you're saying you're supporting Elizabeth Warren for the Green New Deal, Medicare for all, and talking about housing, Bernie Sanders has been doing that for 40 years. So why are you supporting Elizabeth Warren over that? And you're saying that everybody came through and engaged in this long process when that's not the reality. And I'm going to go on to show you guys how that's not the reality of what happened here and how he's lying through his teeth. And even Cuomo is pointing it out. But really, give me an answer.
Can I see what he has to say?
Sure.
Can we go back to that video and play the rest? I want to hear what this guy has to say. Let me see this over here.
Why her and not him when it was him the last time. And when you say why you picked her, and I'm not arguing with your reasons. You're allowed to your process. But they check the same boxes.
Well, listen, we did a ranked choice vote. So we didn't
So this was a vote of members.
This was a vote of members and our national committee, which are grassroots activists that are part of people's organizations.
And more voted for her than him.
institutions. Absolutely.
So that's what it was.
And now we're moving forward with our candidate, and we couldn't be more proud. And the other thing I want to say is that we want to encourage other organizations to choose their candidate and to organize under their candidate. Our message is that we have to start organizing.
What if one of them doesn't win? What if it's Biden? What if it's Buttigieg? What if it's one of the others? Will you back them?
Look, let me be clear, right? What's clear to me, what's clear to everybody watching TV right now is like when you look at the Democratic stage and you look at the last debate, those folks, there's a C between them and Donald Trump, right? There's a C between them and Donald Trump. But right now, the conversation is about the nomination. And we think that the right strategy is a bold progressive policy prescription. We think that that's the right strategy to be the Democratic nominee and to defeat Trump. We think both are aligned.
So here's what I want to do.
Okay.
You are the blue-collar component of that party in its most active form, right? That's why your endorsement matters. That's why I'm happy to have you here.
Absolutely.
As we go on with the campaign, I believe that whoever captures the head and heart of the working families in this country is going to be the true product of change.
That's right.
Culturally, because they are the people who now must recognize that culturally and economically, they have the most at stake.
No argument here.
Okay, great.
Wow. I did like his analysis at the very end. I'm not a big Cuomo guy, but whoever does capture the hearts of the working class family is going to win this election.
Yeah.
And what makes you think that Elizabeth Warren?
Warren has
get the F out of here.
Majority of affluent support and literally not ethnically diverse. So I'm just there. Like he's lying. He is essentially sucks because he is lying, and I want to explain to you guys why he's lying.
Go ahead.
Bottom line, this process wasn't democratic. And before I go and explain to you guys, I want you to see exactly how other organizations are turning this around. The Sunrise Movement, who has been largely criticized on Twitter, and I have refrained from criticism because they're pretty good, but they're propping up Elizabeth Warren now, talking about how she is it. Read her plan to end Washington corruption so we can make our government work for working families again. Put over people over profits and end with a Green New Deal. The Green New Deal came from Bernie Sanders. That was his idea. That was his thing. So is taking money out of politics. How are you going to end Washington corruption by taking its money, Warren supporters? She's taking their money one way or another, and she's going to if she gets to the general, thereby defeating the whole not taking money, which she already told us. So I don't understand the logic here. It's a circular logic. Then, of course, to my great disappointment, one of Bernie's surrogates comes in, Sean King. I admonish other fellow Bernie supporters to take the disappointment in stride. Don't insult the Working Families Party. That's dumb. The process they have for endorsements is as fair and accessible as any in the nation. Yeah. Let's keep pushing for good. Bullshit. The process is not fair and as accessible. And I invite you to learn about how the process came about so maybe you can change your mind. Another one. Linda Sarsour.
Can you get to this one, Linda Sarsour?
Brian, I promise you we are in this together. We are going to work our hearts out for the candidate, but the important thing is we have to defeat fascism in 2020. So already we're kind of pivoting to blue no matter who right here from a person that's supposedly all in for Bernie. She also...
We got to defeat fascism. Let me take money from Google and go defeat fascism, who's the biggest fascist in the world, please.
And she also retweeted this thing about putting up someone who worked for working families and Democratic Socialists. I'd like to see both Warren and Bernie Sanders teams mobilize across the country and against Biden, together drawing endless volunteer energy from each movement, doubling our reach. Warren and Bernie are not the same. Can we stop putting them like they're like equally, like that Warren's actually going to change anything? That Warren's actually going to change anything? She is not. If anything, she is there to literally be the compromise so people can feel like Bernie isn't viable, that she can win, and that once again we get stuck with the lesser of evils, and then once again Donald Trump wins the presidency. Because believe you me, if she gets to be the nominee, Donald Trump will win. Yeah. And he will win greatly.
She has no chance of beating him.
This movement will only probably get more violent. Yeah. And I don't think any of us want that. And again, she says,
feel good story.
We need good news. So happy. Oh yeah, this is a different one. I'm still Bernie Sanders as a champion for working families, but I value democracy in all its forms, including at the working families. Congrats to Warren. And at the end of the day, work your heart out in this primary and get ready for November 2020. We are all in this together. Of course, we are all in this together if you're a progressive. But if you're not a progressive, then no, our values don't line up. And I think the biggest issue I have with a Bernie surrogate saying this, and this isn't to criticize Bernie or the campaign. I'm specifically speaking to these two people, is that they're dismissing the corruption of what happened. It's not about the endorsement. Again, it's about the way it was conducted and how they're saying that they're progressive and that they're representative of working families when they are not. So let's just get to it. This is exactly how the process was not democratic. There is a Medium article that this gentleman wrote that was really well written, and you guys should check it out. But it was designed to show this graph of how much exactly the percentages that Warren would have to get to win the overall vote. So he puts out, if 22% of Working Families Party members voted for Warren, only 22% of the members voted for Warren, then 100% of the Working Families Party leaders had to vote for Warren to achieve 60.9% of the weighted vote, because their vote is weighted. Mm-hmm. So on the flip side, if 80% of the Working Families members voted for Warren, then 41.8% of the Working Families leaders had to vote for Warren to achieve 60.9% vote. If you believe, as is obvious, that the reason that the Working Families Party won't release a membership vote total time, it's because Warren did not win the membership vote. Then this means Warren got anywhere from 22 to 40% of the member vote. This further means that 82 to 100% of the Working Families leadership voted for Warren. This is a stark split they don't want to reveal, but are nevertheless very incompetent at hiding.
So wait a second. So what's the numbers of the actual members that kind of voted for Warren?
We don't have the tally. They
Okay.
won't release the differing votes.
Gotcha. But in other words, it's almost like a super delegate vote once again.
Absolutely,
or a
it's a
Clio's
superdelegate.
when he gets more pledges. In other
Yeah.
words, the leadership of the working family, what's it called? The Working
Families Party.
Families Party has weighted votes, and the leadership gets to
Yeah.
pretty much dictate what happens.
It's what we saw here with Kimberly Ellis and
Absolutely.
and
Where she got more of the actual delegate votes, the actual elected delegate votes, the Clios,
Yes.
which were appointed by the legislator in the body, they got more of those votes because they put in their hand-picked people.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's exactly what happened. And so for anybody to say that this was democratic, to me, is an insult to our intelligence. It is an insult to our movement. It is an insult to everything that we stand for. It was nothing democratic. And the fact is, Pasta, that yesterday in the video, I spoke about how they released these tallies in 2015. When they released it, this time they're saying they can't because their process, it goes against their process of having a secret ballot, because the secret ballot, they can differentiate between that. So
Things Done Change. Biggie Smalls. It was on his first album. Really good song.
Let it be very clear that people who are telling you this process was democratic are lying, or they're pretending, they're ignorant of the facts, whatever. They might not know this breakdown, but that's the breakdown. And math and numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
So,
and the fact that they won't release it says everything.
oh, it says everything.
Non-diplôme PNME. I'm just this name again. $5 from him. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Are you asking where working families get their money, or Warren? We also have a $10 super chat.
Ooh.
Here.
See, because I can't. It's so small. If you have a problem when you're touting Warren and Chris Cuomo is entertaining, doing his job, you have a problem when you're touting Warren and Chris. Yeah, you do. 2, Fiorella is a left-wing extreme feminist. Am I?
Oh, I don't know. The labels. We got the labels all over the place. There's a couple super
really
chats
not.
on the
Not extreme.
MCSE network. I am so embarrassed about the previous super chat. I really meant this amount. Yes, but you did it on the MCSE network. But thank you so much. We're part of that family, and I know Nico would love and appreciate that as well. You can always do it on the Convo couch as well. Either way. First, Warren is a fraud. Second, Trump will eat her alive.
He will.
$50 from Martin. Martin, if you haven't liked, shared, and subscribed to the Convo Couch, we're part of the family. Please do so. Thank you so much for your contribution. And over on the Facebook, just what's that? Anthony, didn't I read it? Let me see. I might have missed it. Is it on MCSC Network, or? I don't see it. You want to read it, or you don't have a microphone? We're looking for one more super chat. We want to thank you all. If you're not a Patreon of ours, please go on over there. Check us out. we've had a lot of support from you people, and you've really, really carried us a long, long way, and we thank you.
Anthony Valenti, Sefrich, hero, not a Russian.
Can he be a Russian hero?
Not a Russian.
He's a Russian hero. No?
Not a Russian.
Thank you so much for the super chat contribution. So, fam, we're monetized now, and we are on our YouTube, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Twitch, and sometimes we go live with Rockfin. And I just want to take a moment to talk about Rockfin, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Rockfin is all about a new way forward. It's a way to rage against the machine. If you haven't gone over there, get over there and subscribe. Check it out. You have to sign up a membership. There's I believe a higher level membership for $10.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is? But please go over to Rockfin. It is like a blockchain of sorts. Johnny's been educating it on me. Does that sound right?
Educating you on
Educating me on it. Blah, blah, blah. And it's really something special. So we're looking at this. They just came up with streaming. They just started streaming. And you got to be a part of it. Rockfin, ROKFIN is the way you spell it. Fam, do you got anything else? Oh, another super chat on the MCSC network.
You guys, go to the CONVO couch.
Help us out. We're poor over here. We just got monetization right there. Pop Reality says, Cenk said he liked the WFP process and supports.
Of course he did.
RES.
Of course.
Supports the results. Of course. Well, he is part of the establishment now.
Elizabeth Warren
They're part of
train.
it.
Are you kidding me?
They took the Katzenberg
Did they do a
check.
video talking about the democracy of the illegitimate, corruption?
Yeah. And the fact that Emma and Anna just won't stop with Samira Khan on Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh, yeah,
it's embarrassing,
that's
ladies, at
ridiculous.
this point. It's really ridiculous.
Two more on the
CONVO
couch.
Let's go over
Why
there.
am I not able to go there?
Because you're messing. Don't stop. Just what the hell is wrong with you? Don't you know how to work? Oh, unknown space pioneer. Read it up. Oh, wait, we already read that one. Sorry. This is a big one right here. Oh, Martin K., thank you so much for coming over here. I'll repeat it on the right one. First, Warren is a fraud. Second, Trump will eat her alive. Listen, she has no chance, ladies and gentlemen, against Donald Trump. If you are really anti-Trump, if you put forth Elizabeth Warren, you're done. Do you agree?
Yeah. She'll lose.
No chance.
There's no way. Yeah.
I got it right there. Y'all are great. Keep up the fight against the MIC, which is the Military-Industrial Complex.
Yeah.
And for the humane treatment of immigrants and refugees, we'll talk to all sides. We'll listen. We'll learn. We want to keep building this channel up. We want to get out there in the streets, right, fam?
Yeah.
They want to get me my what do you call that thing? I never had one when you get to go fly to other countries. A passport. And I've never had one. I've never had a passport.
I didn't know that.
I know. Don't, please.
I'm sorry.
I'm just
breaking news.
Listen, I'm a small, poor, white boy working hard in the system for so long. I never had the money or the opportunity to get a passport.
Why do you have to sound like a Southern?
I don't know. I lived in the South for a long time as well, so I
never had the opportunity.
I never had the opportunity. That's the same one. We got everybody over there. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. We've had a couple long shows today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your support. Remember, we do have a Twitter. Go on over there. If you're not on FAM's Twitter, you don't know what you're missing. It is savage as can be. Pop Reality says, it is odd that Crystal Ball lately has been way more progressive than TYT. No, it's not. Because she didn't take the money. She didn't get paid. She actually took a step down in salary.
Yeah.
She took less
She's
money.
Doing great.
Okay? And once again, she was great on Bill Maher the other day. I love when she was laughing at one of the guests when
Amy
Klobuchar. She laughed at Bill Maher. Bill Maher was saying Amy Klobuchar. and Bill Maher is one of the people who got me involved in politics. And it's sad. I mean, it's not sad. It's just reality that when people are in their own financial liberal bubble. He's not a libertarian. Liberal bubble. They don't get out of it. They're not going to see other things. He just doesn't remember what it's like to be poor. And the fact that he even floated Amy Klobuchar's name is disgusting.
Amy Klobuchar.
And I'd like to send a $5 super chat to Crystal Ball for laughing in his face. Is that it? Do we have any more, Johnny? We getting out of here? We got another one on the MCSC. You guys won't stop. Oh, there it is.
Yo, Nico.
You guys rock.
Need a Venmo.
CC, Snork. Hey, Y2K. Hello. Hey, guys, make sure you go over to the Convo Couch YouTube. We have now got monetization so we can get super chats over there as well. But it is loved and thanked if you do it on the MCSC network as well. We are one big happy family. But we got to get out of here right now. For Pasta Jardula.
And Fiorella Isabel.
Jonny Sue on the ones and twos. Like, share, subscribe.
Combo out. Bye, guys.